that's actually been established, Katy.
Let's ask an attorney about this. Why would Rudy Giuliani want to get out in front of a story that is not yet published, a story that he completely denies, a story that still has not published, even though Rudy Giuliani has gone on the record about it now twice?
He may be adhering to that old trial strategy of if there's damaging information about your client or your case, get it out in your case, on direct, so that the cross-examination doesn't detonate it in your face during a trial. But beyond that, as a strategy, it's not a terrific strategy if you create an issue out of whole cloth that simply wasn't really there before. So it's curious that Rudy Giuliani would take this approach.
You know what it reminds me, though, of Jonathan, is Rudy Giuliani talking to Sean Hannity about the Stormy Daniels payment and then trying to walk that back. It seems like there's so much going on that Rudy Giuliani might have a hard time keeping these things straight. Is that an unfair assumption to make?
That's what this moment reminded me of, too. Giuliani has proven himself to be a pretty unreliable narrator on a lot of events that transpired around Donald Trump, both before and after taking office. We saw Hannity's surprise. Hannity is someone who talks to the president quite frequently. And that moment when Giuliani suddenly said that about the Stormy Daniels payment and then started backpedaling over the subsequent days, it seems like we're seeing that a condensed version of that timeline here, where he says it and then he tries to backtrack and so on. Now, this is something that he perhaps got wrong. It's something perhaps that he hasn't been fully read in on. Or there is the third option where this did happen, it is significant, a story's about to drop, and he is now trying, perhaps unsuccessfully, to get out ahead of it. But certainly this raises questions either about the significance of that meeting and what it could mean going forward, or it speaks to how effective of a spokesperson is Rudy Giuliani actually being president.
It's an interesting issue because it violates an old defense attorney rule, which is after your first or second meeting with your client, don't be that married to their version of the facts until you've looked at everything, every single fact. I hate to say it, but defense attorneys will tell you, clients burn you all the time. They give you the version of the facts that they want to give you, the one that's the most favorable to them. It's not necessarily even lying. It's just self-preservation. Yeah. And Rudy, I think, would be best served by making sure he knows every fact before he goes out there.
Let's bring in Sam Nunberg, who's also with us, former Trump campaign advisor. Sam, over the weekend on Meet the Press, you said that you don't believe the president knew about the Trump Tower meeting. That goes against what you had been saying in the past, that you believe that Don Jr. would have absolutely told the president. Why the change?
Under normal circumstances, and in light of the fact that Michael is now trying to claim that the president didn't know, if it's between the president and Donald Jr., the fact of the matter is that the email that Goldstone sent was not sent directly to Donald Trump's executive assistant, which would be strange in light of the business relationship you mentioned with the Aguilar family. I would go with them. I believe. So
why would Don Jr. not bring this to the president, to his dad?
Don Jr. may not bring it because he doesn't know what it's going to deliver. And it's more important, though, let's just get one fact out here about this meeting. Remember, Natalia comes in. First of all, we don't know how she got into the country directly. We're assuming that she got in through immigration parole from the Obama State Department. But she comes in to talk about the Magnitsky Act, lobby against it.
No, she comes in offering dirt on Hillary Clinton.
She came in offering it, but what did she essentially do from whatever report? She came
from according to what they're saying about this meeting, but we don't know exactly what was said in this meeting. And what we have hard evidence of is an email from Emin Agalarov and Rob Goldstone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rob Goldstone saying that she had dirt on Hillary Clinton. It is still unclear if she discussed dirt on Hillary Clinton. There is no concrete evidence that she did not. There is no concrete evidence that says that all she discussed was the Magnitsky Act. All we have are the words of the participants, and so far their words have not been so reliable, especially considering when they drafted the Trump Tower statement initially, it was completely misleading, and then the second version was misleading, and the third version is what we got, and then we also got that the president had nothing to do with it. And then his lawyers admitted in a memo that the president actually dictated it. So I don't have any idea.
We don't know anything about the meeting.
I have no idea what happened in that meeting, and I have no idea if she did not talk about dirt.
Okay, I wasn't there. I have no idea either. But what I would say is she has worked on the Magnitsky Act. Remember, with Fusion GPS, she was trying to get dirt on Mr. Browder. And where do we stand today? The Magnitsky Act is still in effect from 2012 when it was passed.
Why are we talking about the Magnitsky Act?
Because it goes.
I'm trying to find out.
Katy,
whether or not Don Jr.
It goes to collusion. It goes to the issue of collusion. The Russians have gotten nothing from Donald Trump. Vladimir Putin wanted Donald Trump to win this election. I believe that. Donald Trump certainly knew, and he called to you for those emails, which, by the way, were never released. Vladimir Putin's getting conned by Donald Trump. He has not gotten anything
in the indictment, the Robert Mueller indictment that came out last Friday. There was a line in it that said specifically, for the first time, it's an interesting phrase to use, tell me if I'm wrong, for the first time, the Russian conspirators that they named in the indictment tried to hack into Hillary Clinton's servers. Presumably they weren't successful.
Specifically, and I think we're talking about the same line, after the close of business.
On July 27th, which is the day Donald Trump said, Russia, if you're listening, if you have those emails.
Which is a level of specificity that you simply don't see in a lot of federal indictments.
I'd also like to point out the idea that Russia, it's premature to say that Russia hasn't got anything from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They got the summit in Helsinki 2 weeks ago. We still don't know what was agreed to in that meeting, what deals could be brokered, and also we already know that another meeting is planned in the months ahead.
And also, I will say, and we got to go, unfortunately, but in the... At the Republican National Convention, the Republican Party decided not to arm Ukraine.
But Ukraine is armed, Katie.
But they decided in the platform so that you could argue that. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Sam Nunberg, thank you for joining us. Ken Delaney, and thank you for joining us. Jonathan Lemire.